Boys, welcome to Chapter 2 of the Mindset Mastery course. This is reframing your mind. Everything stems from your mindset. Everything that we do in this community, everything that you learn in this course is going to be built on top of your foundation, which is your mindset. So the very first thing that you need to do is you need to have a notepad and a pen or a pencil, something to take notes and write in. If you have a journal that you already follow a morning process in, use that, write in it. You're going to need some pages, but you have to write this down. It is crucial because as soon as you start writing it down is the second that you can start taking action onto it. But let's get started and waste no more time. The art of an unbreakable mindset. I call it an art because that's what it is. It takes sculpting and formation and molding. It is something that takes a long time. It's like Michelangelo crafting the statue of David. It was not just something that was just formed in one day. It took preparation and it took execution and it took lots of action. He had to put so much time into forming that piece of art, and that is how your mindset is going to be. But it's going to be the number one asset that you can have for the rest of your life. So we're going to explore all the keys to building an unbreakable mindset, and this is, like I said, going to be the most crucial part of the course. This is going to be the most crucial module in this course for shifting your paradigm so that you can reach your full potential. The biggest thing that I struggled with for such a long time was feeling like I was the person that could make it where I wanted to go, right? I'm telling you right now, you have permission to be successful. The chosen ones are not chosen. They choose themselves. When King Arthur pulled the sword out of the stone and became King Arthur, he chose himself. It was not like he was some mythical legend that was meant to be. All of the top performing men in today's society, whether it be Chris Bumstead in bodybuilding or Elon Musk or Alex Hormozi in business, none of these people were destined. They are the chosen one because they decided to be it. You have to decide right now that you are chosen for this destiny that you want to accomplish. Whatever it is. If you have a goal, if you have a vision in mind, your mind will never desire more than your limitations. So if you have something that you're like, this is what I want to do with my life, you can accomplish it. And you have the permission to accomplish it because you'll never, ever desire more than you're capable of accomplishing. Okay? We are designed as men to conquer. It's not wrong to chase accomplishment. We've been, brainwashed and conditioned in this society for us to just fall in line and follow the rules. And when you start changing yourself from the norm, from what your family's used to, what the people around you are used to, you're gonna feel like an outcast for a little bit. Come out with us. Why do you wake up so early? Why do you do this? Because if you were going where I'm going, it would be worth it to you. That's the mindset that you have to have towards these people. It's fucking disgusting that all these people have all these desires of accomplishment, but they live in complete states of inaction. The world owes you absolutely fucking nothing. You cannot ask the world for greatness before giving it a part of your soul in return. You have to put in sacrifice, emotional sacrifice, mental sacrifice, physical sacrifice, if you want to reap the benefit of the things that you are working towards, okay? There's no free passes in this. So many people sit on their couch and smoke weed all day, and they're like, when the time is right, then I'll get in the gym and I'll get the physique that I want. When the time is right, then I will, start to track my macros and I'll really, really commit. When the time is right, I will start this business and I will start making progress towards my goals. There is no right time except for the current moment. All right? You have no choice. You can be bitter about it, and you can complain, and you can stay a fucking average guy, or you can get better. And we already know that if you're in here watching this, taking notes right now, you are ahead of 99% of the population because you chose to get better instead of stay bitter. You've already understood no one is coming to save you. This is your very first step towards saving yourself. But you have to want it bad enough that you're willing to take this information that I give you, this community that I've given you access to, and achieve everything that you fix your mind on. All right? This is your decision right now. You decide now that there is no going back. Whatever life throws at you, whatever obstacle you have to accomplish, whatever task that you have to overcome, this is your mission. And if you continue watching this for one more second, you have decided it starts now and there is no going back. I'm going to get on, what I was talking about at the beginning with your mindset being your cornerstone, because it truly is the cornerstone to your success. Everything will crumble if it doesn't have an unbreakable mindset to build on top of. All these people on the internet, they want to act like there's just like a secret method. If you do this secret thing that no one else is doing, it's super easy, then you will achieve whatever you want to achieve. It doesn't come down to anything except for your mindset. Because when your mindset is there, your nutrition, your training, and your habits, mindset, habits, nutrition, training will all be in place. Every hyper successful man, I'm going to say that over and over, has a mindset that cannot be broken. To get where they are today, they had to endure the pain. And it's fucking hard. But there's no secret potion. There's no painkiller. It doesn't get easier. But the good news is, you guys have heard me talk about this, your mind truly becomes stronger. The more that you push, the more that you attack, and the more that you make yourself, force yourself to do the things that you don't want to do, it's just like the way that your muscles grow, your mindset is going to grow. But if you're not continually working it, it will atrophy. It will get worse. So trust me when I say the 425 wake up sucks, and it will keep sucking, and it will keep sucking, but you will become more resilient. You will become better, and you will start to fall in love with the steps. You will start to fall in love. Every obstacle that you overcome, you will be like, oh my gosh, you will start to see the power. You will start to see what you're actually capable of. And then you'll be able to conquer bigger obstacles and bigger obstacles. And you will literally get to the point where you feel unstoppable. Nothing can stand in your way because you know that whatever your mind believes and you act upon, you can achieve. This is this truly is a real principle. There's universal principles that cannot be broken, and this is one of the greatest ones, That boils down to the fact that how you do anything is how you do everything. If you really want to hyperscale the rate at which your mindset develops, apply this practice. And I'm talking about apply it in the small fucking things. Like when your parents used to tell you when you finish doing something, put it back where it goes. That builds. I'm at the point where if I finish eating and I don't instantly wash the dishes, I start to think in my head, everything's going to crumble. My business is going to crumble. My routine's going to crumble because I'm giving myself leniency. Do it right then. When you sit down at a restaurant, make your spot clean. I am OCD everywhere I go. Everything is systemized and robotic because I'm making sure every fucking thing is in order and is in line because I know that how I do anything is how I do everything. If I'm talking to a low-life person, I'm going to talk to them the same way I would talk to a $100 million CEO. Everything I do is practice and implementation, all right? Nothing is taken lightly. Every single thing is taken seriously, and it's executed with the utmost intention. You have to have that warrior mentality in everything that you do. I'm going to conquer. I'm going to push through. I don't care what stands in my way. I am going to get through this. That is what you have to have. It doesn't matter where you are right now. If you truly implement this practice, this is one of the things that allowed me to grow so quickly. You will become such a powerful man if you mold your life to this ideology. Autosuggestion will play its course. Your subconscious will eventually, through autosuggestion, which if you don't know what autosuggestion is, it is literally what your subconscious operates on. If you tell yourself all the time, I'm a loser and I'm fat, I'm a loser and I'm fat, even if it's just subconscious, like you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, I'm ripped, but you believe that I'm a loser and I'm fat, your subconscious will start to identify with that. If you identify through the reps, if everything I do, if every single time I eat, I wash my dish, if every single time I go to the gym, I train till failure, if every single time I do cardio, I do it until I'm about to throw up, everything that I do will start to mold around that ideology. And my brain, because of autosuggestion, it sees all these actions that I'm doing and it's reinforced. It will have no choice but to adhere to that I'm a fucking warrior. And that's what your brain will do as well. It will have no choice. Give yourself the circumstances where there's no other option. You have to. And over everything, you have to have faith. Because like I said earlier, whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. If you can't conceive it, it's not going to happen. You have to believe it before others will start to believe it, right? If you don't believe something, no one else, if you have a vision, no one else is going to believe in it. But at first, no one's going to believe in it regardless, and you have to be that North Star. You have to believe in it so much, and people start seeing your life change to the point where they start to believe it too, because your action is so contagious, and they see the difference of your life. And that's going to come through implementing a new structure. You have to become a new identity almost. You have to develop a roadmap to self-mastery. And this is what I've done for you. So developing a proven routine to stick to daily is not only going to build extreme amounts of discipline, but it's going to be your everyday guide towards success. And that's what we're going to do throughout this whole entire course. You guys have heard me talk about it in my aggression talks, but this is what we'll do step by step. If you follow everything the way I have laid it out, and it is impossible that you're not going to succeed and get to the place that you want to get. There's proven measures that we can take to ensure we're leveling up each day and staying the course towards our purpose. And if you're doing that, it does not matter how much you feel like you're losing, the progress will come. It is impossible, because if you fuck up, you have a safety net to fall into. Your process is there. You have a roadmap. If you revert back to your bad habits, you know exactly what to do to get back out of them, right? If you go off the path, you know exactly where to go back to that's going to lead you back. So once you have implemented this, it's almost impossible to ever go back, because now you know. Now the opportunity is there. It's no longer a shot in the dark. You no longer feel lost. You know, okay, no matter how far I stray off this path, I know what I need to get back to stay on course with my goal, all right? Everything about who you want to become is hidden behind a deeper commitment. If you've set goals before and you haven't achieved them, you did not want it bad enough. I don't care what you want to achieve. If you want it bad enough and you give every single thing that you are capable of, you will get it. There's never, ever, ever been an instance in history where someone has wanted something and given every ounce of effort that they had towards it and not achieved it. It is impossible. This is how the universe works. If you set your mind and you give yourself no other option, you will get there. And if you don't see the results that you want, you have to commit harder. If you're not where you want to be, simply, you must commit harder. I used to tell myself every single night, I want this more than I want to breathe. That is how badly I want it. You have to want it as bad as you want life itself, and every single thing will start to attract itself to you once you're putting in that much dedication and that much work, I promise. But there's got to be a continuous ambition. No matter how much you level up. Marcus Aurelius said, straight never straightened. You're never going to hit a point in your life where you never come down, where you're just like, I've hit the max. It's always going to be ebbs and flows. You're going to make progress, and then you're going to go backwards. And you're going to make progress, and then you're going to go backwards. Now, keep in mind, in a year, what you think as going backwards would be like crazy progress to you now. So it's not like you're actually going backwards in the scheme of things, but because your standards have increased, that is what going backwards would be. You're always going to fall to the structure of your systems. So whatever your baseline system is, if your baseline system is go out on the weekend and drink when shit gets hard and, revert to being super lazy, that's the system that you're going to fall to. It doesn't matter how disciplined you are. If your baseline system is no matter what, I will wake up at 6 a.m. and I will at least go to the gym and track my macros, that is the system that you will always fall to at your lowest, all right? It's a constant battle every day. How long can I keep fighting? How far will I push myself? Ask yourself, how hard am I to kill? Think about it. Hundreds of years ago, would you have been hard to fucking kill? Now everyone is coddled. Everyone is, you're given a nice house to live in. You don't have to fight for anything. Think about it right now. If you were put in a life or death situation, how hard would you be to kill? Sit on that. Marinate on that. It should feel scary on the inside. And if you sit there and you're like, fuck, I might die if I was in that situation, this is your time to change that. I promise you. This is the type of fire that you need to be living your life with. Set your goals with no preset standard, all right? You create the life that you want, and you have permission to live that life. You have to be willing to sacrifice equal opportunity to get there. The greater of the goal, the greater the sacrifice is going to be. But anything that you could imagine right now, you can accomplish. You have to understand the principle that the output will never exceed the input, right? So if you put in 3 units of work, you're not going to just magically get 7 units of work, okay? Once you become better and more efficient, you might be able to get more out from what you do put in, but that's because you've developed the skills and you've developed the efficiency of what used to have been 3 units of work because your standard has gotten greater, all right? It's selfish of you to think you can take multiple paths and be successful in all of it, all right? You can't be a pro bodybuilder and a pro fighter and a grand chess master and the best policeman in the academy. Like, you can't do all these. Those are just random examples. Pick an area that you want to excel at. You can still be good in every other area, but pick an area that you want to excel at and chase it. This is why it starts with our physique. Every single day, push yourself, not just to see how much progress you can make towards your goal. In the micro, your goal should be, how much better of a man can I become tomorrow? How much can I push myself tomorrow? Can I live in congruence with the man that I know I am supposed to be tomorrow? That should be your standard every single day. And once you've picked a direction and you've picked, this is what I want to become, you'll be able to measure the man that it's going to take to become there. And then score yourself every single day based on how closely you lived in congruence with what that man would do, how that man would act, how he would live, what he would say, how he would dress, the things he would eat, the thought processes he would go through, and that will be your guide. That is how I live every single day. I have an envision of who I want to be when I'm 35, the type of family that I want to have, the little girl and the little boy that I'm going to have, the house that I'm going to have, the compound that I'm going to have, the business that I'm going to have, the physique that I'm going to have, the relationships that I'm going to have, the status that I'm going to have. Every single one of those things I have written, all of them out. And I live my life every single day. And at the end of the day, even if I didn't hit a financial goal or a PR goal or a physique goal, I sit there and I'm like, did I put in 100% effort that it would take to get to the level of man that this man of me in the future is? Did I live in congruence with this man? That is how I judge myself, and that is the only way that you can consistently win, because life will go up and down, and there will be things that are out of your control, but you can measure yourself based on that man of who you want to become every single time. When you feel yourself veering off the course of becoming that man, correct yourself fast and effectively. And what I mean by that is as soon as you notice it, do not delay in the comforts of just toiling around and becoming lazy. Because as quickly as you gain it, so you also shall lose it. You have to, as soon as you notice you're veering off the course, go 10 times harder, all right? And if it gets easy, you should go even harder. Because it will be stripped away from you extremely fast. It's the little foxes that spoil the vine, the little winds that make you complacent. You have to be all in. This is war. Every fucking day, someone is coming to take your place from you, to take your future wife, to fucking murder your kids and your family. I'm not being I'm not over-exaggerating. There are men in this world that will snuff you out in a fucking heartbeat. And you think that you can still sleep in when there are people that are actively trying to take over your life? Absolutely not. Set your goal, set your direction, and attack it every day with relentless intention. This is war, and you are a warlord. I promise you. Once you start living like this, because this is how life is supposed to be lived for that 1% man, you will change. You will. Persistence is going to aid you in that. Your goals are going to be your fuel, right? The bigger your goals are, the stronger your motivation is going to be. Set your goals unrealistically high. It's like if you have I think I've explained this to you before. You might have heard this, but if you're going off-roading in a truck, right? And if your engine is your goals and the mud pile that you're going through are the obstacles that you're going to have to get through, if you don't have an engine that is big enough to drive you through that mud pile, you will not make it to your goal, which is on the other side. And when you're getting beat up, when you're getting stuck, if your engine isn't big enough, it's not going to keep you going. You have to have a fuel and a fire that is so strong that no matter what life throws at you, you're going to be able to keep going, keep putting out power, and keep winning. My favorite quote: losers put in the amount of effort they think, underline that, they think is required to reach their goals. Winners put in the amount of effort that makes failure impossible. They put in the amount of effort that's required to make failure impossible. They have full assurance. There's no wondering, if I do this and this and this and this and this, it might be overkill, but there is no possible chance that I will not get there. Imagine how you'd feel waking up every single day knowing that what you are doing guarantees you reach your goal. Guarantees. There's no wondering, am I going to do it? Like, is this always? You know for a fucking fact that you will reach it. That's going to be based off your mood and your mental clarity. Every victory, every win, your capacity is going to grow. You're going to realize, maybe I can do this. Oh, maybe I can do this. And every new obstacle, you're going to look at it and be like, I don't know if I can overcome this. But once you do, your standard has reset. Every time you resist temptation, you gain strength. This is truly the concept of transurfing, the book that I talk about, reality transurfing. Abstract desires are turned into physical attributes. This aligns with sex transmutation and the transformation of faith-based desires into reality, okay? Like, the whole point of sex transmutation is taking a desire and instead of wasting it, and I'm not saying like if you have a wife and you are having sex with a woman that you care about, that is different. That is a passion that's going into something intimate and it is creating. But if you're sitting there and you're just jerking off and you're watching porn, you are wasting every single ounce of potential that you have. Do not listen to these lies of people that tell you that that is okay. That is your power and you are fucking wasting it into a sock. Listen to me. Take that and transmute it into your goals, and the power that you will harness will blow your mind. That's going to make you so driven. You're going to be buzzing on such a high frequency when you retain your power. okay? You will just do everything at your utmost ability. You will truly finally feel what it feels like to be a man and operate on that high frequency level. Nothing will stand in your way. And when you add persistence into the mix and you look at failure and fear as an old man, he might appear dominating at first, but he's weak and he cannot stand like a persistent mind. When your mindset is unbreakable, everything that life throws at you, you guys understand that life is happening for me, not to me. I will transcend this because this is going to make me better. Bro, failure will fucking run the other direction. Once you are a bad motherfucker, it doesn't want to mess with you. Eventually, you start winning so much, it leaves you alone because it knows that you are unbreakable. Keep pushing forward. When you have enough momentum, that tension has been stretched enough, failure will leave you. Failure will leave you. This is the 3-step process that you need to implement and that I have implemented in myself and so many of my clients so that they can sustain this unbreakable mindset that I've been talking about. So the first step is to identification. Once you've located the source of your failure, you've found your strength, okay? The answer is there. All of your vices, whether it's smoking weed, vaping, sleeping in, watching porn, hanging out with pointless people, drinking, anything, any degenerate activity that is not going to benefit you, that is a failure that you need to go ahead and identify, because those are all things that those who've not developed themselves into a man who can see their goals would partake in, right? You're regularly affirming your goals by taking action on them and sacrificing the comfort of those vices for progress. That will reinforce your positive beliefs about yourself, enhance your self-esteem, and make you more happy. When you're constantly giving into those things that you know you should not be doing, you're never ever going to be able to level up because that auto-suggestion will continue to tell you, I'm a failure. I do not do what I set my mind to. I cannot transcend any problem. But when you start to deny those things and sacrifice the short-term comfort for long-term gain, you will start to reverse engineer the neurons, literally the neurological pathways, and your brain will rewire to you thinking that you can do whatever you put your mind to. Action doesn't wait for any man. It makes no judgment. You can be 5'2", you can be 8'9", you can be 112 pounds, you can be 190 pounds. If you put in the action, you will get the result. That's the formula. There is no deserving. You can be a terrible person and put in the action that you know is required to reach your goal, and you're still going to get there. There's no deserving, okay? If you apply the action, you will 100% reach your goals. There is no question. There's no question about it. The only way to stick to these daily is to implement the 4 pillars of man that I talk about, right? This is the first pillar, mindset. And it's the most important one. And you can refer back to this presentation as many times as you need down the line. The very first video, the call to action that I wrote, this video. Once you've learned and applied your habits, nutrition, and your training, this presentation will be of even more importance to you. But I'm setting your frame of mind now. I'm setting the baseline for you to refer back to and build everything on top of. This course is going to be an organism. I will keep adding to it, keep changing it, keep molding it. You will be able to live in this community for years to come as it gets better and as we all improve. Now, I'm going to tell you about some books that I want you to go read that's going to help sustain this mindset that I've implanted in you and this standard that I've implanted in you. Like if you're hungry for more knowledge and inspiration, these are all things that I have used to aid me on my journey, and I truly recommend that you go check these out. The first one is Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. That is the same guy that wrote Think and Grow Rich. If you haven't read Think and Grow Rich, that's also a great book, but for developing yourself, Outwitting the Devil is much, much more applicable. It's going to teach you how to disintegrate your self-doubt and all the negative influences, like we were talking about, the vices that keep you from unlocking your personal development. This book is truly going to allow you to hone in and realize why all these things are thrown at you and what you can do to deny them. This book was written in I think it was 1927 by Napoleon Hill. Super rich guy back in the day. I think back in the day he was worth like $34 million. And he studied Andrew Carnegie, he studied Henry Ford, he studied Thomas Edison, all of these hyper successful people, and then he wrote he wrote biographies about their lives. But this book was so controversial because today in 2024 it's still applicable, even though it was wrote back in 1927, which is absurd. And I could be wrong within 10 years. It was back in the 20s or the 30s. But his family and his estate said that he could not put the book out until he had died and his kids had died, because they thought that they would kill them for putting this book out. So this book was not released until 2011, and it has stayed massively silenced. Read this book and you'll know why. There's a 3-hour recording on YouTube. Look up Outwitting the Devil, Napoleon Hill, and listen to it if you have to. It will change your life. Now, the next one is a book that I've read about 3 times, and when I first read it, I realized that I was doing and applying a lot of the principles like habit stacking that James Clear talks about, but it will reinforce all of the reasons as to why you stick to and do these habits that I've talked about. This is one of the most important things that you can do is go read this book. And there's a chapter summary at the end. Write down the bullet points. Books are not just for entertainment for you to read. They are to be implemented. So when you act upon them, it's just going to support your consistent growth-oriented mindset. It's going to help you so much. And the next one is reality transurfing. Now, reality transurfing is heavy, I will say. And I'm not going to go too much into detail because reality transurfing is something that you have to figure out yourself. But once you have understood the concept of transurfing and you start to see it play out in your life, you're going to truly feel like you have discovered a superpower. It truly allows you to create your reality and align your mindset with your wildest dreams and your goals. You'll start to see the matrix morph to your thoughts, and it is wild. You will get goosebumps and you will start to think, what is this power that I have just yielded? Go read the book, but you have to be acting on it or nothing's going to happen, okay? Everything has to have a physical manifestation. The next is As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. It's just a really good book to realistically demonstrate the power of your thoughts and how they can shape your life for the better. Everything that you think about will become an action on a long enough time horizon, okay? And truly, this is why I say your mindset is going to be the foundation for everything that you do, because if you cannot envision this reality that you want, you'll never, ever be able to achieve it. But through action and through discipline, you will achieve it. I would say the very first book that you should read before any of these, if you're just getting started, is Discipline Equals Freedom. Some of you guys might know Jocko Willink. I know this seems a little funny, but this book is literally so easy to read. It's really cool. It's got really cool graphics. And you can literally read a page every single morning, and it will just sit in your mind and just repeat day after day after day. When I truly realized that if I do the work now, I will gain the freedom later, and I understood the simplicity of that concept, everything started to change. Truly, I realized if I put something off until later, it's going to suck even more, and I'm going to be thinking about it all day long. So I'm going to have zero freedom. Or if I just fucking nip it in the bud, I do it now, it won't even be that hard once I put my mind to it, and I will have all of the rest of my time as freedom to do with whatever I want. Refer back to this presentation. It's in a document. You can literally download it and look through it, save it to your notes, whatever you need. Come back to this whenever you want. But now that you're committed to leveling up your game, conquering life's challenges, and truly changing yourself, it's time to focus on your personal development, which is your mindset, your habits, and then your nutrition and your training above everything else. The 4 pillars of man have to be a daily implementation for you. You will cultivate this unbreakable mindset that you need to destroy your goals, and you will achieve success in all areas of your life, but you have to take this seriously. These are I'm literally telling you exactly what I did to take me to where I am now. If you take this, and only a select few of you guys are actually going to have the passion and the purpose to implement this, but the ones of you that do, there's no telling what you will achieve, especially if you're watching this at a young age. You're literally, these are things that people don't even figure out until, they're 60 years old, right? And I'm so excited that you guys are going to go through this with me. The next chapter, we're going to dig into the specifics of how I used these things to transform my life. And I'm going to go into extreme detail about the practical application of maintaining this and sustaining the unbreakable mindset. It's truly going to be, as you can see right here, it's going to be epic. It's going to be fucking epic. And I can't wait to see what you guys do with this information, how you implement this, and how this community grows over the years.